Hey guys, welcome back to Home Built, and today I thought it was about time we did a bit of a recap over what we've done on the channel in 2021 and what we have coming up for 2022. Okay guys, welcome back, and as I said, I thought for the end of 2021 I would do a bit of a wrap up of what we've done so far this year and a bit of projection of all the things that I've got planned, because there's a lot planned for 2022. So let's get straight into it and talk about the big project on the channel, which is the Ferrari. So it's been a big year for the Ferrari. Obviously I'd already had a lot of the bodywork done, the basic framework was there. First thing we got stuck into was the rear suspension and the panhard rod. So we've got that installed, and that was a fair bit of work getting that all right in there. Then inside, building the half cage. Building roll cages is quite a time-consuming thing, and I'm quite happy with how it all turned out in the end. It's looking really good. Wheel arch flares, as you guys saw, I got put the wheel arch flares on and showed you the wheels that I'm using. Obviously, with the Ferrari power, you need more than the 5-inch wide wheels or whatever they are that came on this standard. So that meant fitting some wheel arch flares, which were actually a homologation style of flare that was put on these cars in period. So I think it matches the style quite well. As I mentioned before, I've never been a huge fan of the GTA-M big wide body bubble arches. I think it takes away from the body style of the car. So I'm really happy with the flares that I did, and particularly hiding the fasteners. So there will be a seam, but you will not see any fasteners holding the flares on, and I think that's a really nice touch. Then I got stuck in and we put in brakes and brake lines, and got these fantastic calipers from C12 Racing. Thank you again, Chris, for them. These are a fantastic custom set of calipers and discs to fit this car. And I also went through, with the help of Colin Byrne, doing a brake bias adjustable brake pedal, twin master cylinder unit in this car. That was a fair bit of work putting that all in, and all the brake lines. So everything in this car is custom, so going through and doing everything, it has to be done from scratch, and it's really come up a treat. Then I built the full stainless steel exhaust for the car all the way back, although I am still waiting on mufflers that were supposed to be here at the start of the year. It's been almost 12 months since I ordered them and I'm still waiting. Urgh. Moving on, then I thought it was time to do a few more upgrades to the actual functionality of the car itself. So I had most of the driving structure of the car built, but some of the things that would make it nice for moving forward, and we started working on the electric windows. Now this car has electric front and rear quarter opening windows. That was a lot of work, and air conditioning and heating in this car, which was something it definitely didn't have standard. Then it was time to do things twice like I always do, and I went back and revisited the bonnet bulge that I built for this car. And as many of you know from watching this, that I wasn't happy with the first iteration. Ultimately, if I could have had this engine in the car with the standard bonnet, it would have been great, but it just wasn't going to happen with the engine the way that I want it to be. I think the bonnet bulge looks so much better. I can definitely live with that in this car now. I'm quite happy with the result. Then we moved to the front end, and cosmetically, I'd finished a lot of the car, but I had to do something about the grille. And that's where I tried bronze TIG brazing for the first time and made my custom chrome grills with 3D printed inserts for the whole front end, and I think it really ties it together. We also did wiring. Lots and lots and lots of wiring. As you saw, I had to go through and build an entire body loom for this car from scratch. That was a great learning curve. It was great to place everything and work out where I'm going to put all my switches and all this sort of stuff that you're going to see coming up in the future. I also then had to wire the engine ECU. Cutting up the factory Ferrari loom was quite daunting, but removing those factory Ferrari ECUs was always the plan. Get rid of those, and we've got now a full link ECU system on it, which I think is going to make it so much more usable moving forward. There's so many things that you can add to the car with the link ECU, which I'll show you as we put this thing all back together. And the last things that I was doing before I stupidly came off an electric scooter in the wet and cut my head open, so I can't really do anything really messy, was I was tidying up the engine bay of the Alfa Romeo, because I really want that to be a jewelry box. So when you open the engine bay, all you see is the beautiful Ferrari engine sitting in the middle of the bay, and everything just looks just exquisite. That's the plan, and I think it's coming together quite nicely. And as many of you know, I don't just have the one project going at a time on the channel. I generally have 2 projects on the go at once, just to keep changing things up for myself. It can get hard. You can really get bogged down when you're stuck on the one thing all the time, and it just sort of it feels like it's never ending. And that's why I ended up getting the Rockster. As you guys have seen, the Rockster is a new addition to the channel, and we got out for the first track day and blew the factory engine. Was making a lot of noise, and it's gone pop. Wasn't a big loss. I pranked all of you guys by thinking I was going to be also bringing the Audi A6 as another project car to the channel, calling it a modern classic, which I found it hard to keep a straight face doing. But no, it was giving its heart to the Rockster, which is now in and running. There's only a few more little things to do on that, but that was quite an elaborate process of getting everything to fit, a couple of remakes on the subframe, getting all of the coolant lines and everything going, connecting up, and getting everything to work on the car. It is actually running and driving. As you've seen, I've actually taken it on a few drives, and now it's just sorting out those last few bits and pieces before we can get it back to the track. So I'm looking forward to that. That is going to be a great time. Yes! Yeah! All right. Smoky, but it's all. hadn't forgotten about Harry on this channel. As you can see, Harry's nose is in the end at the moment because I've been fitting the electric air conditioning from Classic Retrofit. That is coming up very soon. So there's been a few things with Harry this year. So despite all of our lockdowns and stuff this year, we did manage to get Harry out to Luftwasser earlier in the year to the 3-day event run by one of my great mates. It's been great. It was such a good time getting Harry out. It ran flawlessly the whole event. I managed to get out first track day, which is great, and there's definitely going to be some more track events for Harry, I think. Yeah, there's always going to be some more tweaks on this car, so this car is definitely not going anywhere. It's still going to be seen on the channel. Don't worry about that. I also had a couple of goes at building exhaust for Harry during the year. I tried to make the switchable exhaust. Spent a lot of time doing that. That didn't work. And then went back again, and I've got a whole new set of Design 911 headers and a whole new muffler setup, and now it is fantastic. I am very happy with the result. Obviously, this year has not been without incident. Not just my my 11 stitches, but there's been a couple of other close calls.
When I don't hear any noise coming from the garage, it makes me nervous. Sometimes I have to go and check.
Oh, ow, I crushed my finger. All right, and that brings us to 2022. So coming up, there's still a bunch of stuff to do on the channel. I am really excited about the coming year. There's lots more road trips. There is Luftwasser 22 we're going to with Harry. There is there's also a trip to Tasmania I'm hopefully taking Harry to as well, which should be great. Rockstar should be out on the track, and we get to see how it actually goes, and there'll be more refining on that, and maybe even get some of the ugly out of it.
But that's part of what makes the Rockstar.
It sort of is, but it will get prettier at some stage, slowly. And of course the Alferrari, and my hope plan is to have the Alferrari essentially completed this year. So
you mean next year?
Sorry, next year, yes. End of 22.
Yeah.
I'm hoping to get it, all the paint and an assembly and interior, most of it buttoned up. We are getting close, so hopefully the Alferrari should be buttoned up by then. Yeah, so it's quite an exciting year. There's lots of trips planned. There's lots of events to go to. There's lots more work to go on, and even more projects in the wings. So yeah. So I hope you'll join us next year. And
wishing everybody a Merry Christmas, and hope everyone stays safe and healthy and happy and has a lovely break if you're not working over this period coming up, which I know a lot of people do.
Yep.
And Happy New Year. And when do you think we'll be back?
And we'll be back soon into the new year, or maybe
Soon.
even before. So
Yeah.
well, yeah. Nothing ever stops around here. I just keep going. So yeah, there's definitely more in the wings. So I hope you guys will join us. Have a good one, guys.
Bye, guys.
See ya.